Hello, everyone. Yay, it worked this time, right? Sorry, it's kind of dark in here. I don't have my other light on. Welcome to Mystery Mondays. Sorry I didn't get around to doing it till Tuesday again. Please subscribe, hit your like button, and as always, feel free to comment. So, the first thing I want to mention today is the new documentary, The Murder of Gabby Petito, Truth, Lies, and Social Media, which starts airing on Peacock this coming Friday, December 17th, which is my sister's birthday. Happy birthday! The summary for the documentary states that quote, sorry about that, quote, sheds new light on the tragic story, the unanswered questions, and the shocking conclusion. And I was like, the shocking conclusion? You mean that Brian committed suicide? As far as I know, we don't know everything about what happened yet, so there's no conclusion exactly yet that I'm aware of. So in the documentary, Gabby's parents talk, and her other family members and some friends, I'm sure, talk about her disappearance and her life. They share memories of her the public has not seen or heard before. And I did not find any new information on her case itself, but this documentary may reveal some new information. It's possible, since they were doing the documentary, they didn't release all the information. I'm going to turn on this other light real quick, if you'll excuse me. Hey, Joey Boboey, what you doing? Yeah, I'm hanging out in my walker back here, Grandma. Yeah? Okay. I posted a video of him the other day if you guys want to check it out. It's cute and funny, I think. So anyway, yeah, that's all the information that I have about the Gabby Petito case. While I was researching the case of Joel Thomason on November 29th, 2021, I came across an article about 13 missing persons in Yosemite National Park. I may choose to go over those. Some of them are newer cases, and of course it includes the case of Joel Thomason, who still has not been found. His family had a memorial service for him, or is going to have a memorial service for him at some point this month. Another person that is missing in Yosemite National Park and is on that list is 74-year-old at the time he went missing, Peter Pancher Jackson. He has been missing since September 17th of 2016. His campsite at White Wolf Campground was found undisturbed, but there was no sign of Peter anywhere. In 2019, his backpack was found between Aspen Valley and Smith Peak. I believe I had read something else that gave a more of a exact location concerning where it was found, like a mile marker between the two, but I couldn't find it when I was looking at this information for this blog. At the time of his disappearance, he was 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighed 155 pounds. He had gray hair and a beard. His beard, I believe, was also gray, but kind of brown mixed in with it. He had blue eyes. I planned to cover Peter's story on November the 29th, whenever I covered Joel Thomason's and a couple of others, but I spent so much time covering Joel's story that I did not have time to cover Peter's. And there was also Floyd E Roberts III was the other one I was going to cover then, and those are the two that I'm mainly covering today, in addition to the little bit of information about Gabby Petito. I'm contemplating from now on, when I do the Mystery Mondays videos, just doing one case a week, but I'm not sure exactly how that will work out, because a lot of them there's not much information on. So it's not like I might have enough information to be able to give a very good blog about the one person's case. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. I was going to go ahead and say something about it, but no. So yes, I was planning to cover his on November 29th, which was 2 weeks ago, this past Monday. But I chose not to, because the blog was already so long, and then I had some questions that I answered from Roland from Australia, which I appreciated his comments. So it still took a while, but not as long as it would have taken if I'd covered these other two cases, especially the second one. Now I have lost my place, even though I have markers here to help me not lose my place. Oh yes, he's the one. Peter is the one who texted his son that he was on his way to Yosemite and told him he planned to be there until September 21st, 2016, which is what his camping pass also showed. Authorities think he took a day hike and never returned. His vehicle was found at his campsite. Peter was in excellent physical shape with no known medical conditions and had been known to take moderate to strenuous hikes of approximately 5 miles. Now, I mentioned that his backpack was found at one point. I am pretty sure that I checked and it said that his backpack was found, like the location his backpack was found was about 14 miles from where he went missing. But that might have been a different case. I may be remembering that wrong, that he had been known to take hikes of at least 5 miles. It is presumed he became lost or got injured somehow. It's easy to get lost in the woods because pretty much everything looks the same, right? Even if you have a map and GPS, it is pretty easy to still get lost. Anyone with information about Peter or his case may call or text the National Park Service Investigative Services Branch tip line at 888-653-0009. And I have that information in my blog description. I'm also going to put in there what you need to do, the information for what you need to do if you find something in the woods that you believe has been abandoned or might belong to a missing person, or you think that you might have found any remains. You can find it in the description section on some of my other Miss Monday blogs, starting with number 7, I believe it was, but not in number 12 because that was about the Halifax explosion, not about the cold cases in the national parks within the United States. I gotta keep an eye on the time because I may have to take him out of his walker before I get done doing this. So this next case, in my personal opinion, I thought when I started writing this and doing this research concerning it, I thought that it should have been avoidable, as this man was starting on a multi-day hike with companions during extreme heat conditions in the Grand Canyon National Park when he became separated from the others. I have now, doing my research, found more information on that, so it makes sense to me how he did end up getting lost from the others. He was last seen heading in the direction of Shanley Spring towards the river, the Colorado River, that is, but it is unknown which direction he actually went since he was by himself. His name is Floyd E Roberts III. As I mentioned a while ago, I was going to be covering him. And he was last seen on June 17th, 2016. So, well, about 5.5 years ago. When he went missing, he was 52 years old. He was a white male, 5 foot 11 inches tall, 170 pounds, with brown, gray hair and brown eyes. Now, I don't think I mentioned it a while ago, but Peter Pancher Jackson is also a white male. It's been so hot in my house this morning, I'm itching to death, and poor little Joey back there is sneezing. Make sure his nose ain't running. Nope, no runny nose. He says, no, but it itches. Cedar pollen, probably. Yes. No, I already said that, didn't I? I'm sorry. Floyd was last seen wearing a red long-sleeve t-shirt, blue denim jeans, multicolored mesh Nike Free sneakers, white-rimmed sunglasses with orange lenses, and a large blue low alpine contour backpack, which is the backpack. Wait, no, the other man's backpack was the one that was found. I'm sorry, I was about to say that was his, but no. So that backpack is still out in the national forest somewhere, unless somebody picked it up and took it home, which is totally disrespectful. But anyway, he was also carrying a day pack, which it does not say what color the day pack was. And I wrote, before I did the rest of my research, I just don't understand why at least one of his companions didn't go with him to the river. They were hiking in a remote part of the Western Grand Canyon a remote part of the Western Grand Canyon in Arizona near Shivwitz Plaza. Oh my gosh, near Shivwitz Plateau. I'm having a time of it. I am still sick, folks. I'm about to get that taken care of, but yeah. So him and his friends were hiking in a remote part of the Western Grand Canyon in Arizona near Shivwitz Plateau. Floyd was actually last seen near Kelly Tank and headed towards Trail Canyon / 214 Mile Canyon, which I'm guessing is the same canyon. It just has different names, which is the Shanley Spring area. He was going towards the river, but may have gone down into 209 Canyon instead of going into 214 Canyon. An extensive search went on for 6 days, but no sign of Floyd was ever found. And so they scaled back their search. It's in continuous, I can't remember what they call it, continuous limited mode. Yeah, that's what they call it, which means that if they get a tip or someone finds something pointing them toward him, then they will intensify the search again. Anyone with information on his case should call or text the National Park Service Investigative Services tip line. Oh my gosh. Tip line at 888-653-0009. And I do have the information in the description of my video. And I also have the email address, which I will be giving here in a bit. So now I got reminded why it's important to cross-check information when you're doing research, because I found 2 more recent articles, one from November of 2020, or no, I think it was December of 2020, and the other one from February of 2020. One appeared to be reporting on a podcast that had been done concerning Floyd's case, but some of the information that they provided was inaccurate. And the other one seemed to be doing the same thing, but provided a lot of inaccurate information, including the fact that the last place that he was seen was actually the point where they had set up the search and rescue effort, because that was a well-shaded area that was more accessible than the area that he was actually lost in. So that's not the area that he was lost in. So I had notes that I had taken, and I was like, why did I even pay attention to this stuff? And I marked it all out. But this information is from the podcast here. And I chose not to give the names of his friends, though the only way I found the YouTube video concerning his case that has the podcast on it was by looking up the names of his friends. When I looked up his name, it did not show me the podcast, which I thought was very odd. I got to keep hydrated, running a mild fever. So Floyd's companions that he was with at the park were his best friend from when he was a child and his friend's daughter. So see, it makes sense that he was like, I'm going to go this way. And they were like, well, we're going to go this way. And then they chose to stick together instead of one of them going with him. But I still kind of wonder why they didn't try harder to convince him to go the other way. I'm sure they think about it every day, but they had hiked together in the Grand Canyon last in 2011. So he went missing in 2016. That had been like 5 years. And all of them were experienced hikers. In fact, the men had been hiking in the Grand Canyon National Park since 1992, but it is a huge park which covers millions of acres. So it's possible there was an area that they did not see. And also his friend and his friend's daughter were more experienced, especially recently, than he was in hiking the Grand Canyon National Park, because they were members of a hiking um, group or society, or I can't I can't think of exactly what it was called, but they hiked there quite a bit themselves normally, and so his friend had made a topographical map which they were using when they were hiking and had made the plans for the hike. Um, so on their way to a trailhead from the road, his friends elected to go up and over a hill, while Floyd chose to go around the side, scale around the side of the hill, which sounds to me like it's far more dangerous. I'm sure they probably did try to talk him out of it, especially since he hadn't been hiking in like 5 years. Like, hey, yo, dude, maybe you should go the same way we're going, stick together. But they agreed to meet on the other side of the hill, right? When he didn't meet them on the other side of the hill at 4:45 p.m., they grew anxious and began looking for him, retracing their steps to the road. And I'm like, now surely they weren't like, oh, where's he at? Where's he at? And just stood there for like a minute or two and then took off to retrace their steps, because the way that he went seems to me like it would have been a lot more treacherous, and I would have waited 10, 15 minutes to make sure, yes, if he's going to show up or not. I think it's possible he came around the side while they went to retrace their steps and was like, where are they at? Oh, I guess they must have went on ahead down the trail, and then went ahead down the trail and was looking for them, and went and he didn't see them in the area that they had planned to make camp by the river. He just kept going. I think that's very possible. And in that case, then who knows where he ended up, right? Though you would think there'd be enough people out there that someone would have seen him at some point. And of course, it's also possible that he fell, broke a leg, something like that, but no trace of him has been found as of yet. So if that had happened, surely they most likely would have found him. Yeah, they saw no sign of him, but started setting up their camp, thinking he would show up eventually, because, as I said, he is a skilled hiker, experienced hiker. So they were just like, he's doing something, he'll show up eventually. They went ahead and set up their camp. They laid their colorful sleeping bags on some trees to make their camp easier for him to find. But come morning, Floyd was still not there. By 3 p.m. the second day, his friends made it to an area with cell phone service and reported him missing to the National Park Service. Temperatures for several days in the park were near 100 degrees Fahrenheit, with heat indexes well above that, up to like 110, 120 or so, which made it difficult to look for him and extremely dangerous for him. This podcast that I listened to, said that they were sending searchers out 15 people at a time, though they also did use dogs to look for him, as well as helicopters. Since the area was so remote and the terrain was so rough, I don't know that they were able to use anything like horses or ATVs or anything like that. The temperature itself may have reached 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the area where he was last seen. So if the temperature itself reached 110 because of it being in the canyon, then the heat index would have been even higher, 120, 130, who knows how high. His friend stated that Floyd had 2 gallons of water, a week's worth of food, and a map of their planned route, which the friend had made. So he had supplies that he should have been able to survive out there for a while. They were planning to be there for 9 days. Though the father and his daughter did hike the Grand Canyon National Park more often than Floyd did, so it is possible he may not have recognized some of the markers to indicate that he was going the right way, is what I noted, because the other people hike it all the time, and the map says this is here, and he was walking along and he's like, I don't see anything that looks like that, but maybe it was there, right? So he kept walking because he didn't see what it was, and thought that he would eventually reach it, but he had actually already passed it, perhaps. It's also possible he just completely detoured from the map, or deterred. Ah, oh, hi. You scared me. Well, I'm not sure when it will be ready. I figured I'd go pick it up around 10. So where was I, Tyler? Oh yes, deterred from the map to get to the river quicker, but that doesn't seem like something a hiker as experienced as him would do. The map is thought to have been a topographical map, as I mentioned a while ago, that mapped the terrain as well as the trails. This was his first hiking trip in several years, like I said, about 5 years. 4 days after he went missing was when they brought the dog in to help with the search. Since the area was so remote, the search effort was difficult and it was hard to drive into the area. Helicopters assisted in the search as well as the dogs. Floyd had worked for NASA and was a high school teacher, so he was very intelligent. Doesn't seem like the type of person that would just go astray from a path that they were intending to take. So more than likely he got turned around without realizing it, or he got injured, right? But they searched a 10 square mile area of rugged remote terrain using several local search and rescue groups. I believe at one point there were at least 7, possibly as many as 10 different groups that were helping to search for him. There was a lot of brush and trees in the search area, of course, because it's the Grand Canyon. Not all of it is deserty like. At one point, searchers found footprints, but they couldn't confirm that they were Floyd's, and they followed them, and eventually they weren't there because there was grass or who knows what. But anyway, the footprints disappeared or ended. At this time, and at that time, of course, there is no comprehensive list of missing persons within national parks in the United States. They do share the list of cold cases, though, which is the list that I use to make my videos, Hikers who go to the Kelly Tank area of the Grand Canyon should keep an eye out for any of his belongings, which I described earlier, and they can also be found on nps.gov, where his official missing poster is, and the information concerning that. If they find any item that appears abandoned or seems to belong to Floyd or another missing person, and this is information I need to put in my description because I forgot to put it in there a while ago, they need to leave the item in place, record the coordinates, take photos of the items, and contact the National Park Service, NPS, Investigative Services Branch, ISB, via phone or email at 888-653-0009, which you can call or text that number. Their email is nps_isb@nps.gov. Sounds like the next door neighbors are putting in some furniture, or someone's climbing on the roof, or I don't know. I apologize for not getting this video done sooner. As I said, I've been sick. I should be feeling much better real soon. Hopefully, I'm picking up a prescription, as my son said, here in about a half hour, apparently. Oh, goodness. This afternoon, I will post a vlog about all of the clues for Bull and cleaner parts from The Masked Singer US, and for the season 6 finale, and let you know, based on their performances and those clues, exactly who I think they are, because I've been doing so good this season. I think I've got one right, maybe 2. I think I got 2 right in one of them because I was like, I think people are right. I think this is who the person is. But anyway, until then, everyone have a great whatever time of night or day it is in your part of the world. Stay safe and stay positive. Jody says, I'm positive I want out of this water.